Full service retail commercial project superintendent, meaning I travel all through the United States building retail stores. I specialize in mall build out, new and old. However, I'm capable of building ground up, long term, short term, in between term, you know what I mean. As you can see, I'm not a salesman and I'm not a movie star. So be patient with me about this video. It's something I've been regretting, but I've finally decided to do. It gives you an idea to see me and hear me. It gives me one more step up over other possible employees for superintendent. So I'm applying for a job if you ain't figured that out. Funny, huh? Well, it ain't funny. Well, I'm unemployed and need a job. I need a full-time position. I want to retire with you. If I am hired by you and I accept employment with you, I do not like being laid off because the company is not financially stable to keep clients. Some of the ones I work for, I understand why they don't have clients and they lose clients. But that's not my fault, because all my jobs have finished on time, turned over on time, opened on time. The date that it was advertised, that they spent thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars advertising that store to open, it opened on that date, fully stocked. Customers just coming in by the groves, thousands. So, and far as the budget, come on now. If it's realistic budget, there's no reason why you can't make it, because all extras are back charged and they are all supposedly, if I have anything to do with it, the back charge will be approved and signed. So you know you're getting paid. This thing about a promise of a change order is a no-no, because most likely you're not going to get it. Because usually instead of the clients, you're dealing with a construction manager, which is getting bonuses for every dollar he saves them. So if he can get you to do work and not sign that change order, you may not get that change order. Matter of fact, I can just about promise you won't. But that's either here or there. That's company policy. I have nothing to do with that. I read the policy and fulfill it to the letter, just like the approved building plans. If it says it, I do it. If it doesn't say it, I don't do it. And if I see that it won't work, I go through the proper channels, do the proper paperwork, the RFIs, whatever my authority I'm given to try to head that problem off and not build that store wrong. But as you know, if they don't listen and they say build it anyway, you build it. And then when you get to the point where you knew it wasn't going to work and it don't, well, that's when they work it all out. Do a change order, you tear it out, then you charge them to build it again. You're making money. There's only one problem with that. You know what that is, don't you? Yeah, the turnover date. It does not change. Never changes. It's an act of Congress to get that to change. You better not ever think you're going to get it to change, because it usually don't change. Now, you might be able to pull it off on change orders and approval for overtime, if you can get your subs to work that overtime. Usually the only time they want to work is on Sunday for double time. And there's not that many Sundays in a 4 to 6 or 12-week job. So you understand where I'm coming from there, because you've been down that road. If you haven't, I don't need to be working for you. Because if you've done 10 projects, you're going to probably have one that was a headache with problems on it. If you'd done 1,000 projects, you probably had, I don't know, 20 or 30 of them that was really bad. But anyway, that's either here or there. It's all part of the job. I love traveling. I love meeting new people. Most all of my jobs, as you can see from my project list, were national, all through the United States. And I had unknown subs. And to actually build all those projects and to actually be able to sit here and look at you and state that I have never had fines, never had OSHA or any type safety violations, and never an injury where somebody had to, I mean, sure, they might have nicked a little finger and we put some duct tape on it or electrical tape or even super glue on it. But I mean, you know, no stitches, no, you know, might have hit the thumbnail and bruised it. And, you know, that's not an injury. That's just part of construction. An injury is where they file workman's comp and doctors and lawyers and insurance and all gets involved. I ain't ever had none of that. And it's solely not because I was lucky. Wasn't lucky. It's those Monday morning safety meetings. It's those walkthroughs 10 to 15 times a daily that I do. That's what keeps that down. That and the fact I don't let the subs do things that's going to get them hurt. Just because I've done it all my life back in the old days. That was the old days. That's not today. Baker scaffolds. If you got it all the way up, if it's more than 3 foot, it's got to have handrails on it. Yes, handrails. How many times you see them put that walkboard on the very top and get up there and scoot around on it? I've done it a million times. But you don't do it no more. Not on my job. You put another stack on there and you put the braces on there for the walkboard and use it for handrails. If you don't get up there. It's just simple as that. Now that's just a simple safety violation. That's a common one with most subs. Because most of these subs, come on now, they say they've done commercial work. If they have, then why do they not understand that you got to get in there and get it done and get out? That there's a turnover date, and that day, when it comes, yeah, it's no more time. You've got to get it done. Why do they not know that? No, because they want overtime. They want this. They want that. I don't understand it, but it's my job to keep that down. Anyway, what can I say? How about hire me if you can pay? And when I mean that, no, I don't want $1 million a day. How about $100 an hour? Nah, I'm joking. But normally, you know, I'd like to make about $65,000 a year plus expenses, meaning that you pay for the living expense, hotels, per diem, you furnish a truck, car, whatever, you know, transportation from the time I leave my home state to the time I get back to my home state, which usually is hardly ever, because if you got to work, I'll be working. I just go from job to job. But anyway, what can I give you other than a satisfied customer? Great project with, I don't know, when your client goes there and his eyes just, man, I love this. That makes you feel, that's all really worth it. That and the paycheck. Yeah, it's all about the money. You need the profits and I need my paycheck. But anyway, as you can see, all jokes apart, construction's hard, time consuming, and can take a toll on you because it ain't a 9 to 5 job. While I'm out there on that job, only superintendents who are employed by contractors, they're the only employee who never goes home. All the rest of your employees, including you, go home at night. Go home every weekend. You're off on holidays. You're off on paid holidays. And guess what? You're with your family and friends usually. You even get to take vacations. Superintendent hardly ever gets to do all of that because he's got to work. All I ask for is a little, respect, and to provide me with the authority and tools necessary for me to perform my duties. And I'll bring you a job in, and I'll make that customer happy. When that customer comes on the job site, he will say, oh, I want this done, I want that done, I want that done. Well, I'm going to know whether it's in our contract to do that. And if it's not, I'm going to say, sir, I don't have a change order, but I got this set of plans here, and where you want these changes, how about initial this right here and state the changes you want and that you approve it and sign it and date it? Yeah, that would work. That would hold up in court. Of course, I'm not going to do the work until I get a signed change order. That's number one rule. Number one rule. Change orders are to be signed, approved ahead of time by all parties before a sub tackles the job, before he buys the materials. And I tell them that. If they go on their own behind my back and start something or buy the materials, they're on their own. And if they don't know the process, they're told at them pre-meetings that what the process is and to follow it to the T, not to do any work that's not in their contract. And at any time I tell them to do something and they don't think they're supposed to do it, don't just say uh-huh and walk off and it never get done. Tell me right then. And if they don't have the authority, then I will go to their PM or the owner of the company. That's the way you do it. And you got to stay on top of your subs. You got to check them for materials. They'll cut corners to save money. If the plans say a 2x4 treated and it's got to be fire treated, all wood's got to be fire treated in commercial building. It can't just go to Home Depot and pick up 2x4 or a sheet of plywood for backing. It has to be fire treated. And I make them make sure that every cut has a label or part of a fire label on it showing so that I can take pictures of it when it's installed for proof that it was fire rated before the sheetrock goes up or whatever the finish is. And layouts. These subs, some of them they send out carpenter helpers instead of a superintendent and a lead carpenter. They can't even read blueprints. Well, that's when I called the project manager of the of the subcontractor and find out what's going on. Because I require them to have a foreman, superintendent, supervisor who can read blueprints and do their own layouts and be responsible for it. I also require them to speak English at least as much as I do. That's a joke, right? In other words, they don't have workers that don't talk English on the job without somebody from that company in authority over them to translate, because they can get hurt if there's not somebody there that can yell at them in their language or something. It's a lot of reasons for that. It's not racist. It's not for Mexicans. It's for anybody that can't speak English. There has to be somebody, a supervisor, superintendent, a foreman, somebody in authority for that company over that crew that speaks English, that can read the blueprints and translate and make sure their project is done by the accordance to the plans and specs. Of course, I'm going to check, and I'm going to walk by there and tell them that. I'm going to suggest, hey, you need to check your blueprints. Now, if they ask me why, then we'll go into it. But you'll be amazed at the ones that they know everything. You don't know anything, they do. Well, they're the ones that usually get back charged. And they were warned up front, in front of all the subs, that any sub that causes delays or causes schedule changes will be back charged. And I won't care what it costs to get the work done, because it's coming out of their contract price. Now, how much straighter can you be with them? I can help them if they let me. If they don't let me, well, I don't have to prove their money, do I? Excuse me. Well, I've got to cut this short. It's going to turn into a movie, ain't it? Well, check my resume out. All your questions should be there with my answers, and you also have questions there that I ask. Some are required, some of them are wish questions. That's my wish list. Anyway, you have a good day, and I thank you. And my employment is in your hands. So hire me, and I will bring you great projects and satisfy your customers. Thank you.